More than 100 million people infected, more than 2 million dead. The fight between humanity and COVID-19 has just reached yet another grim milestone. To turn the tide, vaccines are vital, but more important is global vaccination coverage. Now, rich countries are clearing out the shelves, while poor countries are stuck at the end of the waiting line. The scene is all too familiar in history, and it should not be allowed to repeat. This is Xinhua Commentary, the best window on China's views. I'm John Li in Beijing. According to a recent study, rich countries representing just 14% of the world's population have bought up 53% of 8 leading vaccine candidates. Take Canada, for example. If all its pre-orders were delivered, it could inoculate its residents 5 times. Meanwhile, poor countries are vaccine-starved. Guinea is the first low-income country in Africa to deliver any shots, yet it has so far received only 55 doses. Many other poor countries have got none. What's more outrageous is that some rich countries are mulling over vaccine passports. It sounds pragmatic, but it is truly problematic. Without global equitable distribution, such passports will only become yet another stamp of privilege and stigma of inequity. Sadly, it's not the first time that the better off part of the world has left others in the lurch. For decades, many developing countries have been trying to improve their people's well-being and catch up with their former colonizers. But they face all kinds of hurdles, and many of them are imposed by developed countries, such as trade barriers, technology gaps, out-of-reach loans, and unreasonable climate change obligations. Take climate change. Some developed countries are reluctant to take responsibility for their historical emissions. Instead, they try to shift their burden to developing countries. By doing so, they are denying those undeveloped nations equal access to future growth. Such inequity has led to unstable, unbalanced, and unsustainable development across the world, and that is the root cause of today's increasing instability. The growing threat of terrorism, the continuous waves of refugees, the drowned Syrian boy on a Turkish beach. Aren't they enough to make everyone see it? The pandemic has once again told us that global problems need global solutions. If anyone is left behind, everyone is vulnerable. This has been a Xinhua Commentary.